I don't know if this affects anything, but
I don't
full
either.
volume.
Yay!
We're here today in the auxiliary podcast / videocast Random Tandem Studio.
Yes, exactly.
It's Studio B, where we do things occasionally, which is oddly, I do have a halo. You're right.
You do a little bit like.
I am the god of Random Tandem. You will worship me. Okay, so this is a D&D Encounters podcast. This will be episodes 1 through 5. I have things running in the background that I don't need to. We'll just close that. I'm Tommy D.
And Brandy.
And we are Random Tandem.
Yay! And you made this awesome little.
I did. The last game, I made the Totem of Gaming.
Hey everybody!
It's actually a moldable eraser, which I find incredibly entertaining during the game. Anyway, Dungeons & Dragons is a game.
D&D.
This season is taking place, this is backwards on your guys' screen, but it's forward on mine. Dungeons & Dragons Into the Unknown is every time that they do one of these, they have a book that comes out along with it that has the new character types that you can play. And this time around, we got the Goblin, which everybody knows what a Goblin is, the Kobold, which is sort of a lizard man.
And Deep Gnome or something?
Yes.
Deep...
Wait, I'm totally going to find it. I'm going to guess Svervneblin. I'm going to do some
That
awesome...
sounds good to me.
You think? Pretty close? I'm going to do some awesome editing shit so people can, see at the top the name.
Yeah.
But I'm going with Svervneblin.
Yes.
If anybody out there has a better pronunciation, I'd love to hear it.
Yeah.
But they are the Underdark gnomes, which all this entire mission basically, it all takes place in the Underdark for the most part, which is sort of underground caves where the Drow are from, basically. I understand that in D&D it's a little bit more complex than that. There's other realms and universes and worlds and shit that I don't fully understand because I haven't been with it since the beginning. Thank you. Yes. So, you decided to be a Drow.
I did.
Which is a dark... It's actually the type of character that's on the front of the book is a Drow. It is a dark elf.
Yes.
An Underdark elf.
There's my little person this time around, too.
Which traditionally...
You can see her very well. She's
can.
Pretty hot.
She's got some boobage going.
Bitchin'.
And then I am a goblin, a goblin cleric, which...
you are Goblin Elvis.
It was not intended, but the final painting, he looks like freaking Elvis. So yeah, I'm the cleric. I'm the healer of the group, which is unusual for a goblin. And you are a fighter?
Fighter Slayer.
Yeah, so basically a striker type. She does attacks, which we have a few of them actually. A few attack types, which is good. No wizards this time around, or they call them wizards in this, right? Are they called mages in this game?
Magic users.
Yes, we have no magic users, which is unusual for us because normally our team is nothing but.
Well, this time around, there are not really many magic users. It doesn't seem like...
No, not
so
among
much.
any of the characters, not among the monsters or anything.
Let's see.
The enemies, you might call them.
Who are we all? We have...
Well, we also have a kobold fighter,
Yeah.
who is a new player to our team, but he's pretty cool. He does a lot of role-playing, which is kind of nice. We've actually been able to elevate our game with a lot more role-playing. We have... Let's see, we have a ranger. I don't remember if he's... I think he's a drow. Hunter.
Drow hunter.
Drow hunter, yes. Which is pretty cool. He can shoot off quite a few arrows per round.
Yeah.
He does some high damage.
Yeah.
And we had a kobold thief who his character kept dying, so he has now changed to a fighter?
Some kind of kobold fighter type.
The thing that not everybody understands about current D&D, about D&D 4th edition, is that you kind of have subclasses. So it's like you have it's almost like a hierarchy. You have your upper class, which could be like warrior or something. Then you have different types. You have defender types and slayer types and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And so it kind of goes like that, basically that's all you need to know. Just you have subtypes that kind of give specialty abilities that sort of make your character much more specialized towards a particular role in the team. We have kitties. So we started off just kind of as a team meeting each other, because that's how you start off every round. Like, hey, I'm so-and-so, and this is my story.
Yeah, we kind of, got done with the last adventure, and now we're at an inn, hanging out.
Yep.
Met our new person.
Yeah, we had decided
New
that we had
kobold
been
friend.
adventuring before, is what we decided.
Mhm.
Our characters had been. So we were hanging out at a bar and we were chatting people up, and I sort of quickly became kind of the leader type of it because my character has a theme that is Underdark Envoy, which means that I'm sort of the talker, the wheeler and dealer. So I was sort of doing a lot of the sort of NPC negotiations and whatnot.
Yep.
Just going up to people, which it turns out my roles are pretty awful. So I'm not very good at negotiating, but I'm very eager to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we started off. It started off with this really interesting role-playing scenario where you're just hanging out in this bar and nothing's really happening. And you know, in real life time, it was probably about half an hour of that.
Yeah.
I would say, where we're just talking to different people at the bar, finding out different things about what's going on, what's in the neighborhood, finding out about each other. A lot of table talk, a lot of laughing, a lot of jokes, that sort of thing. Just sort of a lot of filling out our characters.
Yeah.
And then after that, they actually even had a menu this time around at the bar, so you could order different things like meals and drinks and stuff.
It's kind of funny.
In the end, we ended up getting a room and going to bed that night, our characters, and not the gamers, because that would be weird. Maybe if it was like an erotic sex venture or something, then everybody, like, each game ends with an orgy.
It'd be weird.
A real life, an IRL orgy.
Okay, moving on. Don't have to freak out the D&D people.
Okay. Yeah, I know I have a lot of hand movement today.
Okay.
But anyway, so yeah, then that night, what happens is we were attacked, or the inn was attacked, I think it was kind of the entire town, by a group of drow.
Yeah.
Who, it slowly gets revealed later on to us that there are a lot of drow that serve Lolth, the Spider Queen, and they're kind of starting to come out of the Underdark and sort of, in a way it almost seems, we don't really know this yet, but it's starting to seem like they're sort of doing her bidding and kind of trying to bring her to the surface.
Yeah.
So yeah, we get into this battle, and actually what kind of sucks is we find out that there's going to be a lot of darkness throughout this campaign. Because like these drow actually are smashing out our lanterns as they go around the room.
And as the only person without dark vision in the group...
Every other character type, except for the goblin, has dark vision, and I'm the only goblin. So I'm like taking everybody's sun rods, and you know, I have to crack one like every battle.
Yeah.
It's getting a little ridiculous. But yeah, so that was actually kind of a tough fight. The thing about this encounter is that there are a lot of swarms.
Yeah, there's like a lot of stuff all at once.
Yeah, it's like every single battle there's a leader type, and there's like 2 or 3, usually about 3 smaller types, and then maybe like 5 minions. It's a pretty full board.
Yeah, well, in the first game,
round.
it's like there was the first drow that started attacking, and then there's like a bunch popped up from this like tunnel, and
unfortunately our thief ended up right next to the tunnel that they were popping out of. So every time that one comes out, they attack him.
Yeah.
So he ran through something like 5 healing surges in the first round.
Went through very fast.
In the first encounter.
Yeah.
It was quite a lot.
Yeah.
And what did we find out? Well, basically we found out that there were ruins somewhere.
Yeah.
And after we had defeated these guys, we found out that there was sort of lightning, seemingly lightning, coming from a tower nearby.
Yeah.
Which turned out to be a wizard that was fighting off the drow, I believe.
Yeah.
Is that how it...
trying to get into some tower or something like that.
Yeah. And, so we kind of... A lot of it, apparently, we kind of missed out on. A lot of the plot points from that encounter, just because we didn't end up talking to everybody in the inn.
Yeah.
The thing is, they keep on making encounters more and more in depth, so it becomes increasingly important to really pay attention to the surroundings that are described and talk.
Yep.
Because a lot of the earlier ones, you know, just weren't that in depth, it seems.
And yeah, see, I think was that where like somebody got the dude's voice in his head or something?
I think that was the beginning of the second one.
Okay.
But one of our kobolds was actually contacted mentally, telepathically, by some sort of wizard. We don't really know much about him, and he's not very well described. Apparently, he has a long beard. Elminster, and he's trying to help us with this in some way. He keeps on sending us on these little missions. Specifically, he wants us to find an amulet.
The pendant of Ashaba.
Yes, pendant of a blah blah.
A blah blah.
And we had a lot of fun playing up the role playing because to us, this kobold's all of a sudden just talking to himself.
Yep.
But yeah, we were led into this tower, which is the second encounter.
Twisted Tower.
Yes, where we kind of enter the first floor, and we actually split the party. Our ranger, Hunter, went to the back.
Yeah.
And the rest of us went through the front, which actually ended up turning out quite interestingly, because one of the sort of larger character of this encounter had shape-shifting abilities.
Mm-hmm.
So he actually, I think
She.
made herself look like this guy who was split from the party.
Yeah.
And of course, as players we know this, but as characters we have to keep in mind that we don't know this.
Yeah.
So it actually got kind of interesting there because we had to sort of recognize. Luckily, the one ended up attacking your character, and then we kind of knew that clearly something's wrong, so we should attack this one person.
Yep.
And so we did.
Yep.
But there weren't as many drow in that one. It was a slightly smaller group than we were used to.
And some kept going invisible.
True, yeah. There's a lot of invisibility, and the unfortunate. Yeah. The unfortunate thing about drow is that they all have this this cloud of darkness ability. So every place you look, there's constantly just poof, poof.
The first game we all kept using it, so it's just like cloud darkness here,
Yeah.
cloud darkness here.
And it's a burst one, so everybody in it can't see shit except for the person who cast it.
Yeah.
So that means that a lot of times we're in these little groups of fighting, and so all of a sudden everybody's blind.
Yep.
It really kind of screws things up, to be honest.
It's a little weird, but you know.
And the problem is we have 2 drow on our team, and every single mission we're fighting nothing but drow, and sometimes a spider or 2. So it's just every place you look, it's nothing but clouds of darkness. So yeah, we basically we got through that fight pretty rapidly, except for the little mix-up with the guy who looked like our guy. But once we figured that out, we ended up kind of looking around, and we found this. Didn't we interrogate someone? I thought at that point we had knocked someone out, and we got a chance to interrogate them. Except they didn't really know much. They just.
I think where we first learned about Valen Jallery, something like that. The wizard that we're going to be fighting, that's the first time his name comes up.
Oh, okay. But yeah, this person that we captured didn't really know much. He wasn't terribly useful. All that he knew was the entrance that they used to come up from the Underdark.
Yeah.
So we started down this flight of steps, and that led us to episode 3.
Yeah, it was like a casket, and we had to like figure out. I think we finally figured out like we had to put like some water in this little bowl that was on top. I finally figured it out.
Yeah. Downstairs, it actually took us a while. The game master had to help us a bit on this puzzle.
That was game 3. Yeah.
But yeah, downstairs we actually found this, what would you call it? This sort of entombment?
Yeah.
Yeah, this sort of tomb.
Mausoleum.
Mausoleum, yeah, that's good, because there's several tombs in there.
Yeah.
And we found out that actually it looked as though there was something on the inscription about a water elemental.
Yeah.
About how this one wizard had become a water elemental when he died, which is strange.
They're gonna do like a history check or something.
Yeah, which is strange when you think about it, that there's actually a tomb there, because what's in it if the guy actually is still alive as a water elemental?
Mm-hmm.
But that's basically, I had been looking around doing some dungeoneering, and actually I discovered that there was a crack underneath this tomb, and you had used water to open it.
Yep.
And that's when we were led down into these various tunnels.
Yeah.
Now, that was a Lord Ashaba's tomb, because of course we're looking for the pendant of Ashaba. We ended up down in this sort of the beginning of these tunnels. And this fight was interesting, that there was sort of a sort of wizard type in a way. But what she did was she cast 2 different spells. One was a spider swarm that hung out basically in these series of spaces, and you got poisoned if you walked through them.
Yeah.
But it didn't actually move. It didn't actually attack. It was just you had to stay out of it. Unfortunately, this person that we had to kill stayed just on the other side of it in sort of a bottleneck tunnel.
Yeah,
So-
and there's like a bunch of people we had to fight.
Yeah, and interestingly, the second spell that she cast was a cloud that continuously summoned skeletons that we had to fight.
Yeah, she had a little pearl that she like threw down or something, and it like
that's what it was.
released all this mist, and it would like go down and summon, and
Yeah.
like little skeleton dudes would appear.
And every round as it traveled, our characters don't even know this because we're looking down this tunnel and all that we see is her and more skeletons coming out.
Yeah.
But as it travels, as a gamer, you can see that as it travels, it's actually every round it's summoning more and more skeletons down this tunnel.
Yep.
So that was actually a tough one. I used up all of my healing abilities. And I was just giving out, because I'm the cleric, I really don't fight that much. Mostly I just give out help to other characters.
Even I got down points when usually... I'm such a close combatant this time around, though. I'm used to being out of the fray more.
Yeah, you kind of have to get used to that. You're going to get hurt a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Basically up front, and there's no avoiding that.
Which, luckily, I think this was the round that I got the fancy armor.
Yeah.
My fancy ebon armor.
Which helped, certainly. Yeah. And yeah, so it was kind of a tough fight. Our rogue very nearly died in that one. Completely out of healing surges at that point.
Yep. So then a human chick and an elf dude popped out of the woodwork.
At the end of this, after we had defeated them, they just kind of appeared. And it turns out they're serving this wizard that we're Elminster.
Yeah.
That we are contacting via our kobold.
Yeah. The bearded one.
The bearded one, as he's really the guy who's playing the kobold is really good at role playing, so he really gets into it and gives nicknames to things, and so it's actually helpful in a lot of ways.
Yes, it's been kind of fun.
Yep, but they showed up. Was it Kara Solwell?
Yeah,
and
some else dude.
Yeah, round 4 we actually missed game 4. But I kind of got the information secondhand from everybody else. Apparently, we kept on going, and we had the continued help of those two that showed up, and we ran.
They opened a gate.
Okay,
to get us through
the gate
further. Yeah.
And then we ran into Hello Kitty. These purple goblins, I guess, who are serving Lolth as well. Mm-hmm. And that's unusual for a goblin, but apparently there's some sort of
Kitty makes it her first debut.
Yes. There's some sort of outcast in the Underdark. And I don't think we can actually...
Yeah.
She doesn't take direction very well.
No, she does not.
We've tailed just a little bit.
See, look, there's an animal there.
I'm not just petting thin air like I'm a crazy person or I'm in New Orleans walking a fake dog.
Oh,
But anyway... So, yeah, that seemed to be kind of the gist of it. And unfortunately, at the end of that, I guess because it was a much smaller team than usual, they very much needed help from these two.
Yeah.
Which is good that that's an option that's available.
Yeah.
But at the end of that, the two had to go their own way for a little bit, leaving us alone once again. But it was a little bit easier because there were 2 more players again.
Yeah.
So on the 5th game, which was last night.
Yeah, we ran into the Drow wizard, Valen blah 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 blah.
Yeah, who apparently served the House of Jaral and was most impressed by our resourcefulness. Mm-hmm. But we're apparently too stubborn to make good slaves.
Yes.
So he had to try and kill us.
Yeah, so
let's see. What he did was he brought out his small Drow army.
Yeah.
God, there was a lot of them.
And, one of the guys we killed, he, turned into a spider very painfully.
Yeah, so this wizard is standing behind this gate, essentially watching everything that happens.
Yeah.
And when the first guy gets killed, he casts a spell that turns him into a spider.
Yeah.
And then he runs off down the way.
And I think he did a couple psychic attacks, too.
That's right, yeah, some sort of psychic poison.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know what psychic poison does. Maybe it gives you a twitch or something. I don't know. Yeah. You start twitching like that, you should probably stop doing that. But, yeah, I can see that.
I'm aware.
A little disconcerting, to be honest. It's like, oh my god, you having a stroke?
Does somebody smell toast?
Yes, stroke at the same time. That'd be bad. I wonder if 2 people have ever had the same medical condition simultaneously. So that nobody could call an ambulance.
It's had to have happened before.
You gotta figure.
You'd think.
Back in the old days, 2 people have a heart attack at the same time while they're at the pub or something. Anyway, so yeah, that was, there were 2, maybe as many as 4, I don't remember, guys who were a little bit more difficult to kill, and then at least 4 minions.
Yeah, a couple minions.
Who were pretty easy to take out. Actually, I had done, I forget what it's called, Earth and Hail or something.
Mm-hmm.
Where basically I do an attack and out of it comes a spray of rocks.
Mm-hmm.
So actually I was able to take out 2 minions on that because it's just sort of, as long as you hit, just whoever's in the spray gets hit as well, just automatically with the extra damage.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of cool. But yeah, we finished up that battle pretty rapidly, actually. We did pretty well. The addition of the extra Kobold Fighter helped out because unfortunately this time around a rogue is just not as useful.
Mm-hmm.
But an extra fighter really was.
Yeah. See? Kitty tail.
Yep. But, yeah, so it was pretty rapid, and we ended up actually searching around in this room, sort of searching the different areas and doing different roles. It was actually kind of fun to do these various different roles.
Yeah.
To sort of just try and discover things.
Yeah.
And in the end, what we found was 2 tunnels that led back and connected with the tunnel behind the portcullis.
Yeah.
That the other guy had run off behind.
Yeah.
And actually, at first, some of us had tried to break the bars, but it just wasn't happening. I think you and the kobold.
Yeah.
The kobold. What is he?
He's a fighter.
He's a fighter. That's right.
And we found like this big room that we could like sleep in for the night. And
yeah, which apparently we can also buy things. So my guess is there's a vending machine in there.
Magic vending machine.
Yeah. Just like put in your gold coins and out comes your healing potion.
Yep.
Because that's the only way that this makes sense. Because it's a big.
I bought a longbow.
Yeah. You're like, let's see. Do I want the candy bar or the sword? Let's go with longbow. Let's see, B4. That's stuck. Chink chink. Yay!
Yay!
And then some arrows.
Yeah.
And I haven't done. We actually most of the rest of our team leveled up last time because we missed that mission.
Mm-hmm.
But we leveled up this time.
Yay!
So I haven't done my new stuff, but you have.
Yep.
And I'm kind of excited to do that. But I guess that's recap of episodes 1 through 5.
Yeah, it was a really long first chapter.
It was, yeah. You see, what happens in Encounters, for those of you who don't know, is that each chapter, you get a certain number of healing surges that let you bump up your hit points. And you get to use them at the end of each encounter, but they don't replenish. Your total number doesn't replenish until the end of each chapter.
Mm-hmm.
So usually it's like 3 encounters and then a chapter ends.
Mm-hmm.
That's the average. But this time 5 is much longer. So it was actually, there was a really good chance that we were going to lose characters. And in a way we did because essentially the rogue went home, gave up and went home.
Yeah.
And
say, screw this! I'll send my brother!
Yeah, his brother with the same name who has a different profession.
Yes.
Came on down. Which, yeah. But yeah, otherwise I'm pretty sure that character would have died.
Mm.
There's a really good
He's
chance.
pretty much out, yeah.
And
he still did pretty bad.
Yeah.
He kept getting down there.
He did, yeah. He got hurt pretty bad. But, I don't know. Kobolds, they're fairly durable.
Yeah.
But, yeah, just, sometimes you just get swarmed or things just don't go right.
Yeah.
But yeah, pretty good game overall. What else? I was going to say something.
Found a really cool picture for my character.
You did? That's exciting. We learned how to... It turns out if you're using the character builder and you want to use a custom portrait, include the complete web address to the portrait. First of all, it has to be online. And second of all, use the complete address. So the http://www. And then the address. Yeah. You have to do the whole thing, which most people aren't used to that anymore. Because most people are just like, whatever, I'll just google.com. Fuck it, just Google. It'll just fill in the rest.
Yeah.
Just G. It'll do the rest for me. Just bleh. There. It went there on its own.
Yay.
And actually, thanks to Google autocorrect. People really just like one letter and it comes up to the one thing that they most do.
Yep.
It's like, yeah. It's like, every time I type P, it's automatically pornography.
Yeah.
Because when I'm looking for porn, I type the word
ass porn.
Pornography.
Hmm.
Because I'm classy like that.
Yeah.
I go for the whole word. It's none of that. None of that porn or XXX stuff. It's pornography.
So.
Anyway. So, yeah. It's exciting. Anybody who wants to play, there's more than enough time left to get in on your local games.
Yeah.
You can find a search engine at D&D website. Just Google D&D because that's what everybody does. But if you're a fan of addresses, I believe it's wizards.com/D&D. The character builder can get you started if you really want to make a custom character. Otherwise, any game that's around will will have they send out promo materials for this. They'll definitely have pre-made characters. You can just grab whatever your preference is and then play right away with that. Pretty easy stuff. I guess that's our number one of, what are they calling this time around?
Web of the Spider Queen.
Web of the Spider Queen.
Yeah.
D&D Encounters. It runs until August.
Yeah, middle of August. So there's still quite a
lot of time.
Quite a few games.
It's weekly every Wednesday, usually between 6:30 and 7. Call your local game store to find out when they run it. And there you have it.
Yay!
Yay! It's a good game.
It is a good game.
And this time around, it's especially interesting. And kind of epic. Actually, the battles are longer than I'm used to because there's just so much going on.
Yeah.
It's pretty fun. I guess for Random Tandem, I'm Tommy D.
I'm Brandy.
Go play something.